Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my spring sexy girlfriend, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's April 25th, 1997.
It is.
And, Carol, you're looking quite festively springy.
Well, I'm glad you finally noticed. You know, I've been wearing this for like an hour and he said nothing.
Well, when I first saw you in it, I thought, stuff.
Did you?
I did.
Well, thanks. But yes, I broke out one of my nice spring outfits.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally spring.
It is finally spring.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, they delayed itself, didn't it?
And our air conditioning is broken, so it's awesome.
Kind of, yeah.
Because it actually feels more like summer, like we just skipped spring.
Right. Well, that's
increasingly
becoming the case.
Right.
That, I won't talk about it, but...
That hole in the ozone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those CFCs, which stands for chlorofluorocarbons. But it's closing up, I hear.
You're so smart.
Yeah. You know who's not smart?
Everyone on this show. All of them. They're all
writers.
Stupid.
The writers that thought to themselves, what does this teen soap opera need? A Western.
Yeah.
A Western episode.
I apologize, peoples. I literally fell asleep again during this show because it was so bad and I was so tired.
So, this one's called The Real McCoy. Should be called The Real McKay, because his name is Jack McKay, or Dylan McKay. But, apparently, in some past life in the 1800s, his name was Dylan McCoy. Or Jacob McCoy, or Billy McCoy, or
Billy,
something.
I think it was.
Billy, don't go! And he's like Billy the Kid. He's an outlaw.
And he found his soulmate, right?
Yeah, that's right. So through past life regression or whatever, I don't know, he's being hypnotized. Somehow, apparently, all the memories of your past lives exist in your human brain that, was composed from part of your mom, part of your dad coming together, and all the cellular things that happen. You see how smart I am? All the cellular things that happen as a result of that. But I mean, his brain is made of matter.
Right.
It is of the physical world.
Sure.
If we believe in past lives, that exists outside the physical world.
Right.
Somehow his physical brain still contains memories from a non-physical.
Well, because I don't think they're contained in the brain necessarily. They're contained in the soul.
In his soul.
Yeah.
One soul.
The soul is the part that, comes back from past lives, not, your brain.
So the soul is nebulous. It just inhabits the consciousness.
Yeah, don't you think?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know exactly what you would call the soul. But
it is life's great mystery.
Yeah.
And there might be a slightly physical part of our brain that contains the soul.
And we're not talking about David's soul.
Why would we be?
Because he was Starsky or Hutch from Starsky and Hutch. I think Starsky?
What?
He was also in the...
what is happening?
He was also in the 1970s TV movie Salem's Lot.
How come, we have a conversation, and then you have a whole different conversation, and then you just act like we were having that conversation?
Come on.
David who?
Soul.
There's somebody named David Soul?
Yeah, the most 70s name ever.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
He was either Starsky or Hutch. I don't remember.
Good for him. See, when you said David, I was thinking of, David Silver.
Oh, David Silversoul.
I'm like, Brian
David
Austin
Silver
Green?
was
No.
Named after David Soul.
Okay.
Modeled on him.
Sure.
Because he was a young hip-hop artist.
Right, in the 70s.
Well, 60s, because when he was young. Anyway, so... so he's doing past life regression and everything, and so he gets to experience this, and then we have to experience it with him. But they're robbing stagecoaches, and Kelly Taylor's there, and then they're robbing trains, and then they're robbing banks, and Billy McCoy is just such a nice guy as a criminal. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, but then people just shoot at him all the time, and then he's got to kill them.
Right. Nice criminal. That's every girl's fantasy.
That's what happens. Yeah, that is every girl's fantasy. Yeah. And apparently he's fucking some saloon singer by the name of Dixie, the most generic Western woman's name ever.
Right.
And it's just some actress. It should have been Valerie.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been a much more interesting choice.
But I think that they wanted it to seem real, I guess. And the only reason Kelly's there is because Kelly's soul was in that time period as well with him.
Right.
Because they are I don't remember what they called it, a dyad or something like that, or what they call it. They're soulmates, essentially.
Uh-huh.
The strongest one she's ever seen, Dylan says. So we are meant to believe that Kelly and Dylan are the strongest soulmates ever.
Right.
And instead of seeing any of that on screen, the screenwriters just tell us that.
With these past life regressions, right. Yeah.
And I just still don't believe it because they never had good chemistry.
I don't think that's true.
They didn't. They really didn't have that good of chemistry. And Kelly wanted to do all the fucking let me go to school and all the parties and stuff. And Dylan was like, I want to sit at home and brood.
Well, him and Brenda were definitely the better couple.
Yes,
but I wouldn't say him and Kelly didn't have any. They have sexual chemistry.
I guess a little.
I mean, she has more chemistry with him than she has with Brandon.
I think she has. Oh, for sure.
She has like no
100%.
chemistry. It's almost like watching an incestuous relationship. There's such a lack of chemistry.
But we won't have to worry about that for much longer, I don't think.
Yeah, because Valerie has set her sights on Brandon.
And literally set her sights on Brandon. Brandon's talking about how he's going to run for president again, even though no one ever wanted him to in the first place. But now everyone's like, oh, we love you, Brandon, run again. So he decides to run again. And as he's giving his speech, Valerie's standing next to Donna, and she's like, he looks so poised. And like, she looks hungry. That's what her eyes look like. So Valerie has, in her quest to fuck every male cast member, is now moved on to Brandon.
And she looks at Donna and says, how close is that relationship, you think, when he's like talking to Kelly?
Will it be easy for me to break them up?
It was like the most fucked up thing ever.
Yeah, she's so overt.
Yeah. She needs to chill out.
And then later her and Brandon have a conversation where she's like, you know why Kelly hates me? Because before I knew you were together, I confided to her that I wanted you to look at me as more than a sister. I might have been here to replace Brenda in the cast, but you can fuck me guilt-free.
Right. Do you think he's interested?
Does he have a penis? I mean, who wouldn't be interested?
Yeah. I mean, she's a hottie for sure, but he also has to know at least a little that she's evil.
Let me tell you, that paper's over a lot of flaws.
Right?
Being as hot as she is.
And they have an adjoining bedroom
she
still.
She can be pretty crazy. She says something like, since the first day, notice we haven't touched each other? And he's like, what?
That's not true.
He's like, we haven't hugged, we haven't high-fived, no arm on the shoulder, never touched. And I almost said Dylan, but Brandon, and then Jason Priestley. Brandon kind of sits there for a second, gets this quizzical look on his face. He's like, is that true?
No.
We've not touched each other? And so then he gives her a hug. And she's got this look on her face like, gotcha now.
But that's 100% not true.
When did they touch each other?
When like she was coming on to him before, when she walked in his bedroom in her nightie or whatever, I think she put her hand on his chest.
First day. That was the first day. She said since that time.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first day?
Yeah, that was
It seems like
it's a hell of an introduction.
All right. It seemed like it was more recent.
It's burned in your brain now. You can't remember anything else, but you remember that.
I've been having a little bit of trouble with my memory lately, but yes, just like how hot she is, papers over flaws, it also burns into the brain.
That's true. Anyway, so that's she's gonna start conniving there. Do you think she's going to break through?
Well, what? Yes. I mean, I think they'll have sex. I don't know if they're going to have a relationship. Mm-hmm. But my question is, who's going to end it first? Is Kelly going to break up with him for Dylan? Or is Brandon going to break up with her for Valerie?
No. Brandon has to keep the I'm a nice guy image. And they have to write it in that way. So Kelly is going to break up with him. And then Valerie's going to be the shoulder to cry on.
Okay.
And the
that makes
boobs
sense.
to touch.
Be like, don't forget you can touch me, Brandon.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think's going to happen.
That's the episode I want to see. Fuck this Western shit.
Yeah, fuck Valerie. I know you've wanted this for so long.
For Brandon and Valerie to have sex? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense. They're hot. They're young. They have an adjoining bedroom.
I think you want the what goes on the cutting room floor. I think you want the too hot for TV version.
Yes.
I wonder if they'll sell that.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd buy that.
It's kind of like that other sex tape that's going around.
What? Which one?
There's only one, really.
The Pam and Tommy Lee sex tape. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody at this point has seen that
I
or heard of it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? I have a copy.
Well, you have to show me.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's mostly on a boat. So, but yeah, I think that's what you want. But with these two.
Yeah.
So tell us what else happens.
Well,
I mean, I'll finish the Western storyline later, but
Donna and David
and Raymond
ugh,
and Claire.
yeah, like that's such a messed up situation. At least they're kind of making it more dramatic than it was, because it should have been dramatic from the beginning. All of them hanging out, but
yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is like, who knows from week to week? Who knows what's going on? You know, like, does David still like Donna? He's with Claire now. Who knows? Does Claire want Brandon? Don't know.
right.
Because it depends on week to week where they're at.
The only thing that's been consistent, I guess, is Donna wanting Ray,
Yeah.
which, why I don't understand.
Donna's very loyal.
Yeah. But she wants them to go on a double date, and then they make up some story about having some party to go to.
Right.
And Ray calls them out on it being bullshit, and they're like, yeah, of course it is. We don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
So.
What does Valerie think about it, they say? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, keep it that way.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I wish Donna and Ray would just break up.
Me too. I wish Ray would just leave the cast.
And speaking of leaving the cast, I would like Andrea and Jesse to get the fuck out of town, too.
Hopefully that's happening.
Yeah, so...
Nothing against Gabrielle Cartieres, but...
Their characters annoy me.
Or whatever Jesse's actor's name is.
But, they got a letter or a phone call or whatever saying that Yale was going to accept him, or...
No. He called them, or they called him. They want him to clerk there or something like that, I guess. Or teach there or something. I don't know. They want him over at Yale. And he said, I'll only do it if you accept my wife and reinstate her scholarship that she blew off.
Yeah, because she was supposed to go there to begin with.
And they were like, fuck you. They said, fuck off.
They did not.
And hung up on him. And then he's like, but they called back 15 minutes later.
And
they
so
were like,
they
yeah,
would do it.
the other candidate said he wanted a scholarship for both of his wives. He's a Mormon. So we figured one's better than two.
Right. So, yeah, so they can go to Yale. She can go to med school and have it paid for.
Med school?
Med school. What the fuck?
She was in bed school before with Peter.
Yeah, well, she's done with that shit.
Is she?
I hope so.
She's all like, oh, whatever we do, we'll do it together.
It's so funny to see them acting like they're all happy and solid. It's like, you're not.
They both cheated.
They look happy now that they like have it all out in the open. Like, did you decide to have an open relationship? That is the only reason why you would look that happy together after this.
I don't know, but their characters bore me.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have anything. They're so separated from the rest of the cast. I don't think they have anything going on or anything really to do with anything else.
Yeah, they should not have married characters with a baby trying to hang out with the college kids. Mm-hmm. on a soap opera.
It's not even realistic.
Right.
See, in real life, they'd never have a time to hang out with him.
Never.
She's hanging out with Cindy more. Did you notice that the dad, they try to have a storyline for the dad, but it's so in the background.
Yeah, like they just talk about it in the back of a couple scenes.
He thinks he's going to get fired.
Yeah, he's worried about it. He's talking about it in the beginning, and then in the end, they're just like, "Oh yeah, it didn't happen."
No, they don't say anything about it.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, that's carried over to the next episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure, or 2 episodes from now. But they're having a meeting without him, and like he was like, "Hey, why are you having a meeting without me?" And his boss is like, "Some questions are better left unasked."
Holy shit. That's not good.
But it's like he's narrating his life to his wife. That's how lazy it's gotten. They have no time for any scenes depicting this, so he's just like, previously on my life.
Well, maybe they're leaving too. Maybe he'll get fired. They'll lose the house. They'll have to move to Minneapolis or wherever they came from.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And the kids decide to stay, or Brandon decides to stay.
And him and Valerie will go get an apartment together somewhere.
Ooh.
Because,
a sex cave.
Right, there you go. Or the Walshes could just, rent the house. They don't own that house, though. His work does, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll just be SOL if he gets fired.
That's right. I hope he does.
I don't. I like Jim and Cindy.
They're fine, but they're barely in the show anymore either.
Yeah.
But, so Dylan, to finish up Dylan's storyline, he ends up marrying Kelly and having a couple kids, becoming the marshal of a town. They go to church.
The criminal becomes the police officer. Okay.
Of a different town, and he goes by an assumed name.
Okay.
Because apparently you could just do that back then. You could
Right.
just say, "Hey, this is my name." "Oh, where's your license?" "Oh, license don't exist."
Right.
Just had to take somebody's word for it. And there were no pictures, so it's like, oh, I kind of look like that guy on the wanted sign. Everybody in this era has giant, big mustaches and wears cowboy hats, right?
Right.
Or as we call it, our era. Anyway, so he ends up doing that, but his gang calls him back because the woman he used to fuck is going to get hanged. So he has to save her. So he saves her, and then earlier in the episode, he shot some fucking banker in the face or whatever because he pulled a gun on him and shot at him. So then this dude shoots him in the back, kills him, Dylan McCoy, or whatever, Billy McCoy. And just so that we all know, it's so funny because it was almost like there was a movie going on in the background that we didn't get to see. This guy goes, "That's the guy that killed my dad. I shot the guy that killed my dad. Yay!" And he's all like fucking happy about it and stuff. It's very funny. Unintentionally hilarious scene.
Yeah, so that sucks. He left his wife and kids to go back to the other town to save the woman he used to fuck, and then he gets killed.
Yeah.
That's a very poor choice. I would be very pissed.
And then he gets buried, and he can still see somehow. I don't know how, but he's looking up at people throwing flowers in his grave and everything. And it's all the old people from the town doing it. And then he sees Brandon, and then he sees modern day Kelly, and then he sees the whole cast, right? And he says he comes out of it and he's like, why were they there? Why did I see them? And she goes, well, sometimes, now just keep in mind, it might mean nothing, but sometimes you can, time's flexible, so you could see the future too. And he's like, oh, I'm seeing my own funeral. And he's like, yeah.
Whoa.
And then she goes,
Creepy.
he says, my mom took me to a palm reader when I was young, and the palm reader said I had a very short lifeline, so that I should make the most out of what time that I have. And he's like, I never thought about it until now.
Aw. Shit, so he might be dying soon because everybody looked like now.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really scary.
Maybe they're getting rid of him too.
Yikes.
Streamlining the whole cast.
Oh, you know what else happened that I forgot to tell you?
No.
Brandon decides to run for the university president again.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
We did?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I feel like that was when we were talking earlier and not actually when we're talking now.
By definition, that's correct. Anything that happened in the past is when we were talking earlier. What do you mean?
Before we started recording the tape, we were talking, and you asked me.
Oh, you mean before we were recording?
What I remembered, and I told you that, and I don't think I told them that now.
We mentioned that he decided to run again, and that's when Valerie gave him that look and all.
Oh, okay, but he lost. That's the part we didn't talk about.
We didn't talk about the well, what did you just jump right in? No lube. But yeah, we didn't finish the storyline. Yeah, he lost. He lost because the university decided to start raging tuition.
Raging tuition? Rage Against the Machine. Sure.
That's a bright boy. Yeah. So somehow that's his fault.
It's ridiculous.
So Alex beats him as a write-in candidate.
Yeah. That's ridiculous, though. Like, he has no control. People blame him for so much shit, which is why I wouldn't want to be a university president.
Fuck no.
Because he's like a figurehead, and he takes all the heat, but has no power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets to rub elbows with the chancellor.
Who cares? He could fuck the chancellor's daughter if he wanted to.
Yeah. Probably still could, yeah. You just want him to have so much sex, don't you?
Just for my girl. You know, Claudette, she's obsessed with him.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I would like him to have more sex for her benefit.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't care.
Sure. So, I think that's it.
Well, no, because the end.
Okay, well then keep going.
The end is...
The end? Oh, yeah, the end.
Yeah.
Well, Steve and Kelly are out of town most of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
They're in New York.
She's doing modeling stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like her agent now.
Cocaine and champagne.
He's such a leech.
Stuff.
Like, he just leeches on to anybody who's doing anything.
Exactly.
And he's like, let me be your manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's with her, and Dylan keeps trying to call her because he desperately wants to talk to her because
they're soulmates now.
Right. And it's urgent. They haven't been soulmates the whole time, only now. Like, whatever, Dylan.
Your soulmatehood couldn't wait another couple hours, couldn't it?
Right. So she calls Brandon to tell him she's sorry he didn't win, but she doesn't even show up for him.
No, she's like, sorry I couldn't be there. I'm just so jet lagged.
Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Your man just lost an election. Go give him a fucking hug, bitch. Right. I'm not like that.
Valerie does.
Right?
Yeah, Valerie's there to give him a hug.
So, yeah, she just apologizes for not being there, and then there's a knock on the door, and it's Dylan. And he just starts kissing her, and she kisses him back.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
It's very passionate.
Bitch and a whore.
Wow, now she's the bitch and the whore.
They're all bitches and whores, except for Donna. Except for Donna.
Yeah, Donna's not. What about Brenda?
Brenda's not there anymore.
No, I know, but do you think she's a bitch and a whore in Paris?
She was, you know, she left before the show became what it is now.
Right, that's true. That is true.
She was never a whore.
Oh, good for Brenda.
Sometimes a bitch.
Yeah, well, ask the cast. But yeah, anyway, so that's it.
Yeah.
It's the episode. That's the only thing of note that really happens is they kiss at the end.
So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah. Keep in mind, most of this episode, nothing matters. It takes place in the past.
Right.
Even if we believe this shit that he's watching is real, who cares?
Yep. It was mostly an old Western.
That's right.
Just a filler. Mm-hmm. A filler episode
it's a bottle episode.
Have
it's not really, though.
No, because there's all kinds of sets.
Yeah.
But just to bring us to the big conclusion at the end.
That's right. What's going to happen, Carol? Are they going to get together?
Of course.
All right.
All right.
They both cheat very often.
Well, I know
he's cheated. He is cheated on Brenda and Kelly, and now cheating with Kelly.
But he doesn't have anybody he's cheating on.
No, but still, that's 3 cheating incidents.
Yeah, but he's not the cheater. He's the cheatee.
That's okay. He's involved in infidelity 3 times.
All right. Yeah, she cheats too.
Obviously.
All right. They're bad people.
Yeah.
They deserve each other.
Yeah.
All right. So we will see what happens next week. So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And tell your friends.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.